Alright, when working with the US system of measurements, especially with inches, it's convenient to be able to try to convert a decimal to a fraction. Except the ways we've learned for converting to fractions, we would say this is 462 thousandths, and that's not terribly helpful because my tape measure doesn't show thousandths of an inch. Maybe some implements would go to the thousandth of an inch, but if we're trying to go to something, if we're actually using a tape measure, the most you can this is a 32nd inch, is probably more than you can hope for with a tape measure. But let's figure out what this is to the nearest 32nd of an inch. And the easiest way to do this is to say, well, I'm going to take this 0.462. I don't want to change the value of it, and I want it to be over 32. So the easiest way to do that is to also multiply by 32. So multiply by 32 and then write it as something over 32. And let's see what I get when I do this. 0.462 times 32 gives me 14.784. 30-seconds of an inch. And if I'm rounding this to the nearest 32nd of an inch, this is going to be 15 30-seconds of an inch. You can see to get to the nearest 32nd, I'd multiply by 32. To get to the nearest 64th of an inch, I would multiply by 64. I'm going to go ahead and leave the 1 off, though. I'm just going to look at this 0.392. So 0.392 times 64 gives me 25, and it's barely over 25. So 1.392 is approximately 25, or 1 25/64. And you can double check your work here. 1 plus 25 over 64, you can check to see what number that is, and you can see that's quite close to this 1.392 that we started with. It's 1.3906. Of course, we're not going to be able to get it exact because we're talking about the 64th of an inch. This is to the nearest thousandth of an inch. But we're quite close, actually. Alright, if we want to express 2.70, oops. Yeah, 2.70 inches to the nearest 16th of an inch, I would do the same thing. Again, the 2 I would leave off, and I would just do 0.7 times 16 to give me 11.2. So this is 2, not 1. 2.70 inches is approximately equal to 2 and 11/16ths of an inch. Again, I got that 11 by taking the 0.7 times 16. Maybe if I wanted to see, okay, maybe that's closer to a 32nd of an inch, I can go the 0.7 times 32 and see, well, it's 22 30-seconds of an inch. That would actually reduce to 11/16ths anyway. And the last example, 0.400 inches to the nearest 32nd of an inch. I mean, you don't need to write the extra zeros after that, 0.4 and 0.400. This calculator doesn't care about significant digits. We end up with 12.8. I'm going to round this up to 13 because it's, 12.8 30-second, which will be approximately 13 30-seconds of an inch.